it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm a big fan of yours. I got to tell you, the menu. You were so fantastic in that movie.
Hey, thank you very much.
I loved it. If you haven't seen that movie, check this out.
Yeah, it's good.
I didn't know what it was going to be about going into it. I just thought like it was people eating at a fancy restaurant or something.
Well, it is kind of about that, like the worst guests possible at a fancy restaurant and everything that's wrong with them.
Yes.
And I was one of the terrible guests.
But gosh, you made me laugh. It's very funny, by the way, I should mention, too.
It is funny, a very twisted, dark comedy.
Yeah, but gosh, you made me laugh when you started. It reminded me a little bit of me because I watched it with my wife, and I love those shows like Chef's Table or all that stuff.
Right, me too, yeah.
And they're like this scallop was found, and I'm like, oh, it's just beautiful. And my wife's like, it's a scallop. Or, whatever.
Yeah.
But I would freak out. Oh, my God, I love those shows. And your character at one point starts crying when he sees...
He does. He gets misty-eyed. He gets emotional
about the food. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And then it gets nuts. But, man, you were fantastic in that.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you.
I have a picture of one scene from the movie.
This is one of my...
So it is funny. I'm telling you, it is a comedy, but...
This is one of my proudest moments because this image has kind of become a meme, and I never expected to become a meme.
Congratulations.
For this. But also, it's kind of ridiculous because this is a moment when I've been forced to cook in the film. And my character, who thinks he knows everything about cooking, has been forced to cook, and he's terrible at it. Truly terrible. Yeah. So this has become a meme for people who are bad at things. Which
it doesn't mean you. No, it's the character.
I'm the face of like someone who's bad at something.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Damn, how did this happen? But also, I'm very proud of it.
He's whispering something in your ear. Do we? We never hear what he's whispering in your ears. Is that?
No. It wasn't scripted what he whispers in my ear. And Rafe is fantastic. He's one of the greatest.
He was phenomenal in this as well.
Yeah, and he would deliver different. Things each
to get
time
different emotions?
for different things in my
I wonder what whispers to get this scared. Now look at that. You're a great actor, bud.
You don't want to know what
I don't want to know, yeah. I want to know about this, by the way. I follow you on the socials, on Twitter, and I looked at your Twitter bio, okay?
By the way, it's like 15 years old.
Yeah.
Should probably update that.
Yeah, exactly. But this one here says marble egg enthusiast, which...
yeah.
No, is that assuming like marbles? Is that what that is?
Just like marble the stone.
Oh.
But just eggs. They're not interested. I think when I was a kid, I thought they were like maybe hatched dragons or something, so I liked them, and I had a little collection. Oh, thank you, yeah.
Wait, so you really mean marble eggs?
Just, they don't do anything, and I'd just get them out as a kid and hold them, and then I'd put them back away and keep them safe, and... It's like, I don't know.
Maybe they were dragon eggs. We don't know. I mean, it could be hatching
like Gollum right with my little marble eggs.
Game of Thrones.
Very odd.
Whoa, wow! I didn't know you meant marble eggs.
Put it in my bio now.
No, I like that a lot. Next time we should have marble eggs on and look at them.
Yeah.
But then the first thing really made me laugh. Berkshire County Athletics 2005 discus bronze medalist.
Yeah.
So
you're in the presence of greatness.
There he is. Winning
Good stitch back. That was nice. Well played.
How did you win the bronze medal there?
I know. It's surprising I didn't get the gold. It was the weird thing was it was only the second time I think I'd ever thrown a discus as well. I did it once in PE, and then they were like, you threw it kind of okay. Do you want to do county?" And I was like, "Yeah, all right." And I never even learned how to do like the spinning proper throw.
You didn't even spin it.
I just stood there and went, "Ugh," and that was it. But then the people that were there, that were actually great discus throwers, who obviously that was like their skill, they kept, if you walk out the front of the circle, you foul out and it doesn't count as
disqualified.
They kept on getting disqualified. So it was kind of by default. I ended up getting the bronze medal.
That's a winner.
I've still got the medal. And I
never give up.
With pride.
Never give up. That's the point there. I want to talk about your new movie, Renfield. This, again, is comedy.
Yes.
Dark comedy.
Yeah, it's a comedy about kind of this toxic relationship, this narcissistic boss, Dracula, kind of the worst boss you could imagine, played by Nicolas Cage. And
Nicolas Cage as Dracula. Yeah. Come on, bud.
It's amazing.
He's the best.
I don't think my career will ever get better than like being in a scene with the iconic Nicolas Cage playing, Dracula. It's just like. And he's having so much fun, and he's brilliant in the movie. So it was amazing to shoot it. And it's an action comedy about my character kind of finding this support group and this network to try and believe in himself and escape this boss who has him you know, killing people to feed his bloodlust.
Yeah, we can all relate to that. Yes, of course.
Your typical story.
Your character gets special powers not by eating people's blood, though.
No.
You eat insects.
Yes,
bugs.
yeah. That's kind of a classic thing from the, you know, the Bram Stoker novel. Renfield consumes life, and for our story, it's been updated. It's 100 years on, and Renfield kind of gets superhuman abilities, I guess, from eating bugs. So there was a fair amount of bug eating.
Yeah. It's a silly question for me to ask because I shouldn't have said this earlier. I said, did you eat real bugs on set?
Yes, yes.
And you said you did.
I did, yeah, no. So well, it depends. The props department were incredible, and they did build, like, for cockroaches, we had, like, caramel ones that looked very authentic, so they were yummy. For the worms, it was, like, gummy worms in, like, crushed up Oreos to look like Earth, so again, very yummy. The one bad one was potato bugs. Potato bugs were, they were real and they were disgusting. That was not a nice flavor. But I have brought some along, some of the, like, the yummier ones for you to try, if you fancy. These are crickets. Crickets.
I did this for myself.
Bring them out. So these are dried and they're flavored. They're, voila. We've got salt and vinegar and cheese and bacon, I think, are the different flavors.
I really don't want to do this, but
you know
I will.
Like, you know what now, I thought my bug eating days were over, but now, like, doing the press tour...
You've eaten more bugs than you have in the movie?
Everyone's like, eat another bug! So here I am, and I'll do it. You know what? They're not the best I've ever had, I'm going to say, but...
All right, but what is that? Was that the salt and vinegar, or is that the... It doesn't matter, right?
I think that was the cheese and bacon.
Does it matter at this point? You're eating crickets.
There's a wing on your desk.
Oh, my gosh.
Sorry.
This is so... Dude.
You can do it.
I know, but I'm not in this movie.
Just shoot the whole thing.
Yeah, right. Oh, my God. All right.
They're quite bitty.
Ooh,
they get stuck in there.
The leg just came off.
It's good. How do you feel?
No. It's interesting. It's not that bad, but I wouldn't choose...
It's the thought of it that's worse than the actual
Yeah, it
thing.
tastes like veggie stick.
Yeah. Well, me and Nick Cage were saying yesterday when we were doing press, we were like, oh, you know what? Like, I mean, if we got over our fear of eating insects, really, it's like great protein, low fat. Like, it would solve
actually not bad.
world hunger in many ways. So it's like,
we
were thinking that maybe we'd start up a brand of, like, the Two Nicks Insect Emporium and start, like, selling dried insects. So
yeah.
You heard it here first.
Let's get working on that. Yeah, of course. I want to show everyone a clip. Here's Nicholas Hoult in Renfield. Take a look at this.
I work for Dracula.
What?
Dracula?
Dracula.
Dracula?
Count Dracula.
No, President Dracula. Yes, sorry, Count Dracula. I'm his familiar. I tend to his needs, including care, feeding, anything, especially during the daylight hours.
Like you get Dracula people to eat?
I do other stuff, too.
Like what? Wash his cape?
No. It's dry clean only.
There you go. Nicholas Hoult, Renfield is in theaters April 14th. We have magic from Penn and Teller after the break. Stick around, everybody.